Our last news story of the day is we have former CIA Director Hayden agreeing with journalists, tweet labeling Republicans dangerous and nihilistic. Lovely. Lovely. I mean, I'll get to my points here in a moment. Let's just kind of start this article off. Former CIA Director Michael Hayden on Wednesday agreed with a British journalist's contention that Republicans were more nihilistic and dangerous than extremist groups and dictatorships around the world. I said Biden was dumb. I've said Biden said really dumb things. Maybe I should start a board and we could do a little list together ourselves on the top just stupid things people have said, including Democrats in that list. Republicans were more nihilistic and dangerous than extremist groups and dictatorships around the world. For those that are listening, I'm beyond baffled that somebody could say something so stupid and get away with it. I mean, you literally had ISIS putting people in actual cells, lowering them into the water, and drowning to death. They were skinning people alive. They were throwing live babies into fire pits, watching them being cooked alive, having the mother watch their children being cooked alive in these fire pits. Then, once the baby was dead, all crispy, pulling the baby out and making the mother eat it in front of everybody, numerous amounts of times. Once she's done eating it, they gang raped her. Furthermore, you got the whole thing going on with North Korea. You have Cuba, Venezuela. People are losing weight, upwards of 30 to 40 pounds from what they used to be. They're starving to death. There's bread lines, which Bernie Sanders supports and loves. But you're right, yeah. Republicans are just more nihilistic and dangerous than freaking dictators and extremist groups around the world. Just makes tons of freaking sense. Freaking idiot. This guy used to be the CIA director. Trust government. Trust government, folks. Trust them. Freaking knucklehead. I've covered extremism and violent ideologies around the world over my career, tweeted Financial Times columnist Edward Luce on Thursday. Have never come across a political more nihilistic, dangerous, and contemptible than today's Republican. Nothing close. Then get out more, you idiot. Read a freaking book. You don't have to go far. You really don't have to go far at all. I mean, people have gotten so dumb if they think that's legitimate. They gotten so far off the beaten path and just brainwashed in the education system to really believe that. I mean, you have to actually not read. If you don't want to read, just watch TV. Okay, I understand not everything on TV is real, but you could watch some documentaries or something. You can go out there and travel the world and experience and see things and go, wow, that's really bad. Read people's experiences. It's such an outlandish thing, and to try to wrap your head around it, I'm not even sure you could make sense of it. Among those who agreed with that contention was the CIA director, and he said he agreed, and I was the CIA director. That's the exact quote. I agree, and I was the CIA director. You also had another person, an entrepreneur and self-declared former Trump supporter, question the productivity of such a comment, noting that would only reinforce the GOP's narrative of partisan, weaponized intelligence apparatus. Yeah. So if you have the CIA director talking like that, what makes you think you have the FBI director, which I understand, I believe was put in place under Trump, but you're telling me none of this stuff is kind of making you question everything on what's going on? If you really want to start questioning the government, read Jason Chaffetz, who I actually trust, and I was really bummed out when Jason Chaffetz of Utah and then Trey Gowdy of South Carolina left Congress because they were one of the few guys that I really, really trusted to do their job. And that's one of the major reasons why they left, because they saw how corrupt government was. They didn't come out and say it. You have to read between the lines and read their novels. Jason Chaffetz has a book called Deep State. He was the chairman of the Oversight Committee. Like the guy that's has basically authorization for anything and everything. And he talks about these suits that would come up and block him and do certain things. It is so mind-blowing. And it shows you how corrupt just the certain components of our government is. It will make your head spin. It's a great book. Again, it's called the Deep State. Further, your message overstates the case. Do you truly believe the GOP is more nihilistic and contemptible than Al-Qaeda? Seriously? Make that case. Not all Republicans are extremists, and Uncle MAGA is not the enemy. Tone it down. I mean, I appreciate the tweet from this guy, but man, I mean, if you're that dumb to think that Republicans are more nihilistic and just dangerous than extremist groups and dictatorships, you're already off the reservation. I mean, you are so far gone. You can't be helped. There's no switching that thinking. In the same way, just like we had with our first story, I'm not so sure that you can switch a lot of Democrats' thinking because they've gone so far left. They're not even that centered in terms of voting for homeless things, not wanting to enforce it. They want to defund the police. They want crime to rise, and then they're going to blame it on police. They think Republicans are worse than dictators and terrorist organizations. Like that type of thinking, you guys, you can't change. It's not even worth having a conversation with somebody that has that type of thinking. The type of conversation you want to have, and I think is worth your time with the amount of time that we have on this planet, is somebody that's probably centrist, that can actually logically think. That's not always going to sway with Republicans. It's not always going to sway with Democrats and go, hey, you know what? Yeah, that's a pretty crazy statement. There's a lot of Democrats that believe in that. There's a lot of progressive left that believe in that statement. I don't even believe that statement about Democrats. I don't think they're nihilistic and more dangerous than extremist groups and dictatorships around the world. I think the progressive left are. We see that through Antifa. Hell, they just got done costing us billions of dollars, over $4 billion, burning down cities for the last 4 years when Trump was in office, shooting police, pillaging and raping people. So yeah, progressive left are wrong. I'm not saying there's not even extremist groups on the far right. There are. But you're going to say that Republicans are nihilistic and dangerous? And I think they partially have that, obviously, from the January 6th thing, but I think also at the same time, because we don't trust them. We're always questioning their motives. We're always questioning government, what you're doing. We don't want you to take away our Second Amendment rights. We don't want you to censor our speech. We want everything to happen the way it's supposed to be happening since the foundation. For the most part, there are things that needed to change, of course, and things that were progressive, that were good. But you're going to sit there and push this stuff. What a mind-blowing thing. And that's coming from a former CIA director. Sad. It just shows you where we are as a country. And the people that are running this country, just shows you where they're at as well. Supposedly, I guess we shouldn't be that surprised with Joe Biden in office. But even that, man, we're not questioning it at all. We're not doing investigations. We're just kind of the same issue probably happened in 2020 midterms. Be ready, folks. Be buckled up because your speech is going to be censored. There's funny stuff already happening. They might send out more ballots because you have this monkeypox coming up. You might have COVID-19 all of a sudden arise and, oh, we got to shut everything down again. Oh, God, election time? Gee, man, that's perfect timing. Something's going to happen. I have a feeling that something's going to come here where Democrats are going to try and push some sort of thing to help things sway to their end. Even if you have a red wave, I think they're going to try to do something shady here, something interesting. So with that being said, as always, folks, watch every episode you possibly can. Let it run even if you're not interested. We do upload every segment throughout the day. So be on the lookout for that. I love you all. Thank you so much. We're Republicans. We're conservatives. We care about this country. We're not nihilistic and we're not dangerous. We're loving creatures with just a little bit of patriotism that, goes in a certain direction sometimes because we love this great country and we don't want to see it go down the drain like we're seeing Portland, Seattle, Los Angeles, and New York go down the drain. Support this channel by hitting that like and subscribe button. And folks, I will see you later here on The Bald Brad Show. I hope you enjoyed that clip from The Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.